I'm ready when you are.
Okay. Hey, welcome back.
I know, right?
We're back.
Did we want to say that?
No.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Opening Doors podcast with the Realty couple. Sit back, relax, learn a little bit, and read all these fun words. Raw. Wow.
Hey, welcome back to the Opening Doors podcast. I'm Brandon Monaghan. This is my wife, Danielle.
Hi.
We are the Realty couple. We are coming to you from our home office.
Yeah, we have a little bit different setup for you guys. We are no longer in two spots. It's a little weird.
Yeah, we're in the same spot.
We're in the same spot. Like, watch us high five.
How was that audio?
Yeah.
We're also in our ugly Christmas sweaters.
Speak for yourself. Mine is not ugly. Yours is ugly. Mine is not.
That's true. So what she does is she goes, hey, what we should do is we should wear our ugly Christmas sweaters for the podcast. So then I put on my ugly one and she puts on one that she really enjoys and likes.
I mean, so I don't know if you guys can read what his says. Resting Grinch face. That's hilarious.
It's because I have a certain disconnect between the muscles in my face and my true emotions.
Like, he's trying really hard to smile right now. Most of the time, he's just...
Like...
See, look at I can't even do it. I don't have resting Grinch
What's that
face.
like? What's that like to have total control over your
It's
facial
fine.
muscles?
It's fantastic.
There are literally times where I will have... I'm at a party and people are just having the time of their lives.
Mm-hmm.
And so am I. But you look to Brandon in the corner, and I'm like, wow, this is a lot of fun. You know, like, and I see pictures of myself, and I'm like, that's not how I actually felt.
Yeah, but it's how you look. It's how you look. My Christmas sweater, on the other hand, is my Harry Potter Ravenclaw. So shout out to my fellow Ravenclawers.
Wow, I thought you were going to shout out to your husband who bought it for you.
I mean, my husband did buy it for me. I love it so much. I seriously love it. Like, there's diadems on here. It's...
People don't
Harry
know what
Potter.
diadems are.
Harry Potter life.
Read the books and then listen to that part and you'll understand what that means. Anyway, so we mentioned we're coming to you from our home office. Mm-hmm. We changed locations.
Yeah,
we completely moved. And it was not easy.
Guys, I may never move again. I mean, we probably will. But moving is no joke. It's awful.
I like in our profession, people are like, oh, you know, we're so worried about moving. And because
like,
we haven't done it,
it's not a problem.
you'll be fine.
Yeah.
You'll be fine. People do it all the time. What do you mean? Just pack your stuff up, move it to the next place, and kick your feet up.
We had been at our previous home for almost 6 years.
Yeah, 5.5, something like that.
Little over 5.5, almost 6 years. And you accumulate a lot of stuff, especially having a child.
Yes.
Our son came with a lot of stuff.
He didn't come with a lot of
well,
stuff.
It felt like it.
we bought a lot of stuff for him, and so did
true.
other people.
That's true.
So yeah, we kind of allowed that to happen. So we kind of wanted to just talk a little bit about our process, our moving process, and what you guys can really expect. You know, if you were to sell a house and or buy a new house.
It's hard, but you can do it. We downsized a lot, especially during the beginning of the year, during like our actual quarantine period. We were quarantined, for those of you who are not watching from the Michigan area. Mm-hmm. We were quarantined for a couple of months, and we cleaned house.
In the literal sense.
Yes.
We did. We had 11 or 12 huge industrial size garbage bags full of stuff. Mm-hmm. And we're not one to hold on to stuff for garage sales.
No.
We would rather donate it.
I wish that we were.
Yeah.
Because I feel like people have really successful garage sales, but once I make the decision to get rid of something, I need it gone. I need it out of my life. It needs to leave my area.
What happens is we get rid of all of our good stuff. We donate it all. And then garage sale season comes around. We're like, we got a couple mugs we should sit out with.
Yeah.
And then nobody comes by and we're like, we suck at garage sales.
Yeah.
So anyways.
We just got rid of so much stuff.
Yeah, so we closed in our house. We had a little bit of occupancy after closing. We had some time to stay in the house while we moved to this new one.
We kind of took our time with it. But eventually, I think it was after like a week, we were just like, let's hire movers, let's set the date, and let's be done with it so we can just try to get accustomed to the new house and kind of get things unpacked.
Yeah. And it's a little bit nerve-wracking hiring movers, too, because they show up with what they assume to be a big enough vehicle to hold all of your stuff. Where in our case, it was not true. We had more stuff than what they anticipated.
That was a little frustrating. If I'm being 100% honest, I think if anybody is going to undergo the moving process, that's something that you really probably want to err on the side of like having too much space in the truck, because not having enough space in the truck meant that we had a lot of stuff left over at the house that we had to move ourselves.
Yeah.
And it was not just clothes, shoes, a couple of things. I mean, we're talking furniture. We were still moving big things.
Yeah, we were. So definitely, if you're thinking about moving or if you're going to be moving soon, that is sort of a hot button thing. You definitely want to keep track of how big the truck's going to be when you move, because and obviously a lot of people move themselves instead of paying movers.
Yeah, more
which is
power
fine.
to you.
We just weren't
more
about that.
More power to you.
No thanks. So anyways, so the moving thing, that half the battle is obviously packing and moving everything to your new house. But then you're left with this huge, sorry if you hear our dog shaking his ears.
Yeah, sorry if you hear our dog.
You're left with this huge amount of stuff that is all in boxes. You don't really remember. If you labeled stuff, great. We tried to, but if you don't really remember where everything is, it's just, it's so overwhelming. It's unbelievable. So we just kind of, for the first day or so, we just kind of sat and we're like, well, I'll put that box away. But then you look and you're like, whose stuff is this?
Yeah, it was super overwhelming because, like he said, we aren't people to kind of keep stuff. Lupin wanted to make a brief appearance, guys.
Yeah.
So we aren't one to really keep stuff. Brandon is much better at this than I am. I'm not a pack rat, but I just have really strong emotional ties to things where he's like, get rid of it. I'm done with it.
Am I using my left arm? Not really. Just get rid of it. It doesn't bring me joy. It just doesn't spark joy.
But I think it was a week before we moved that we sat down and you were like, we really don't have that much stuff. Do you remember this?
I did say that, yeah.
And but the thing is you have everything put away, right? I'm a very organized person. I'm a hyper organized person. Things have a home. That's how I believe. Every single pen, every single mug, everything that I own has a home. And when it's
but when it doesn't, what happens when something doesn't have a home? It goes with the other things that don't have homes also.
Well, but this is what I'm saying. So when everything is put away and everything looks clean and organized, you think that you don't have a whole lot of stuff.
That's true.
That's why I don't know if anybody out there has read The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up by Marie Kondo.
Very good. First try.
I know. I had to dig back in there to get it. But part of the KonMari method is Marie Kondo.
Was right.
Okay, that was right. Okay. Part of that method is when you are going through your stuff to declutter it, you pull it all out of its space. So clothes is a big thing for everybody. When you declutter your clothes, her method is you put everything in one pile. You pull everything out of every drawer, because when it is tucked away in its little spaces, you're like, oh, I don't have that much, or I have the space for my 47 yoga pants and stuff like that. But then you pull it all out and you're like, well, I don't need this, I don't need this, I don't need this. And that's kind of what happened when we moved, is our entire lives were brought out into the open.
Yeah,
and
that's
so
true.
we had so much more stuff because everything wasn't pretty in its home.
And it's kind of funny because she goes by the whole, does this thing spark joy in your life? That's kind of why I mentioned my left arm thing. But when you have everything out and you're moving and you're stressed, a lot of that stuff doesn't spark joy to me. So the decision at that point may not be the best time to decide that.
Listen, doesn't spark joy to a Mr. Resting Grinch face. So yeah, we know it doesn't spark joy.
Only I
for you.
can know who's been sparked joy. You know what I mean?
We know it doesn't spark joy.
You won't ever be able to tell.
I don't know if anything. Do I spark joy for you? Is this
you do.
Save it for another time.
She does.
We'll save it for another day.
You can't just get rid of a human, just like a pair of socks.
I mean, you can.
It's not that easy.
Just don't.
So honestly, it made me want to be more of a minimalist.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that I'm gonna be a minimalist, but get closer to it. If you guys get a chance, I don't know when that's coming out with Matt Diavella.
Okay, so yeah, that's where I was gonna go with this. Brandon turned me on to this YouTuber a couple of years ago, Matt Diavella. I highly recommend checking out his YouTube channel. He has a lot of just kind of random stuff, but he has a lot of like minimalism videos and things like that.
A lot of it's motivational too.
It is. He does a lot of self-help, self-development type stuff. It's kind of awesome.
But with an asterisk though, it's not like self-help like those. Oh, you can do it. You can climb mountains. It's he does it by trying things out himself and showing his failures and his successes. And he's just a normal guy and just happens to be a really great filmmaker too. So it's really nice and aesthetic.
Quality.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does it really good. Like he was saying, he does like 30-day challenges of like meditation and waking up at 5 a.m. and taking cold showers and like all kinds of stuff. But they're very entertaining to watch.
Yeah.
But this is his second documentary that he is filming. I don't know if anybody has ever heard of the Minimalists out there. There's two guys that are, they call themselves the Minimalists. And the first documentary that Matt Diavella did with them was actually called The Minimalists. And I believe that this second documentary is called The Minimalists as well.
Yeah, something like that.
But there's some sort of change to the name. And it comes out January 1st on Netflix. Both documentaries, the other documentary is also on Netflix right now, but you guys should totally check them out.
Yeah.
But it's something that we're kind of
We'd like to get to.
We're venturing towards it.
I mean, they talk about literally using one fork for each person in your household.
Not about that.
I mean, how great does that sound? One fork. You use that fork, and you're done with it. You wash it at that moment, and then it's sitting there for your next meal.
It's something to think about. I mean, I'm not 100% opposed to it. I'm not as extreme, but I think that that's what's cool about minimalism is it means something different to everybody.
Yeah.
Minimalism to me could mean owning 50 different types of shirts, but to somebody else means owning 5 of the same exact shirts.
Right.
You know, so I mean, there's varying levels to it, but it's something that I think we need to, and we want to kind of move into that mindset because it's also about consumption, right? I mean, as American culture, we consume a lot, whether that be virtually or actually physically as well. And I think that fast fashion and things like that are so popular right now and kind of reining back in a little bit, saving more, spending less, and kind of not buying into that type of marketing. Sorry, Target.
Oh, we love Target.
We do love Target, but, you know, that ties into that fast fashion.
Yeah.
Instead of buying something that's, like, ethically and sustainably created is a little bit different. But
that's
anyways,
a can of worms.
I know. We don't need to get into all of that. That's not why we started this.
There is
this
a
topic.
trend. I mean, with the tiny house movement, I mean, that's relevant to us in real estate. People are taking shipping containers and making a home out of them.
We know somebody who
I know a couple. One of them, dates my cousin, but another one, I think I graduated with a girl that she's starting to build it out of a container and everything like that.
Maybe
so
we could have a conversation.
We'll follow along. That would be a cool interview. So maybe we will. But anyways, that's a huge movement right now, and it's relevant to us in real estate because it does affect consumers' psyche.
Absolutely.
And do I really need do I need big open floor plan? Do I need something that seems open, airy, and clean?
Well, and this is something too that I've talked a lot about with our clients that we have, and figuring out, you know, everybody wants, it's American culture, more is more, you know, so I need the 2,800 square foot sprawling ranch and stuff, but really if you kind of get down to the core of it, is that what you really need? Right. I mean, when we moved into this house, we kind of moved, the square footage was roughly the same, but it was kind of spread out a little bit different. And it was something where we kind of had to have that discussion of, is this something that we need? Right now, there's just the 3 of us. So do we need, 3,000 square feet? No, that's not something that we need. So it was something that we kind of had to discuss and kind of figure out exactly what would make sense for our family.
Right. In that trailer for that minimalism documentary, the guy said, I can't remember which guy it was, but he said that we're spending our entire lives going after the wrong things, and we die basically yearning for, those personal experiences and everything like that. You know what I mean? It's paraphrasing, but
it's so true.
Yeah, I mean, when you really sit down to think of it, is this house going to make your family happy? Is everyone going to have, enough space to stay out of each other's way, but not too much space. You're not heating extra square footage.
Right.
You know, that type of thing.
Just wasteful.
A lot of realtors might be looking at this and be like, what are you talking about?
I know.
Big houses, big paychecks.
But that's not why we do this.
Our business is very relationship based. We
Yeah.
want to make sure our clients are happy. And so, you know, this is part of it.
Yep.
So,
We'll
I
get
wanted
off our soapbox here.
Yeah, sorry. I kind of want to talk a little bit about a wonder drug that I just found.
I mean, I guess technically it is a drug, but like also it's not what you're thinking.
No, but guys, coffee? I have not drank coffee as an adult until like about this moment.
Well, that's not true. He's been a very sporadic coffee drinker, as I have been.
Yeah.
But over the last, I would say, month,
maybe just 3 weeks.
yeah, he has stepped his game up, and he is a different person.
Well, here's the problem.
It's crazy.
So I stopped drinking pop altogether, and I didn't realize how much I needed of that caffeine. Because when I stopped and I got completely off of any caffeine whatsoever, I was just dragging butt in the morning. So I was just, I feel like I'm so old. I feel like 32 hit me like a ton of bricks, but it just coincided with me stopping to drink pop. So
Yeah.
I just felt like I aged myself. I was waking up so grumpy. Nobody wanted to deal with me. All those memes like, I'm so grumpy without my coffee in the morning, or don't talk to me until my coffee's gone. That is so true, and I never knew how true it was. We just got an espresso machine.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say. We just got an espresso machine. I'm super pumped about it, except I'm still on decaf, so I mean, really, I'm not that pumped about it. It's fine. I may never go back to regular coffee. I've gotten so used to not having caffeine, so I don't know. I miss it. I miss it terribly, but I have my decaf and...
Yeah. We were in Target the other day, Christmas shopping.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of Target, right?
Speaking of Target. And they had a Starbucks in there, and we're like, our son was being watched by her parents, and so it's like, hey, let's have fun. Let's go shopping. Let's get a coffee. Let's walk around. So I got a coffee, but I got a shot of espresso at the same time. This was my introduction to espressos.
Yeah.
And
he had never had one before, guys. Like,
never.
This is...
About halfway through the women's department.
We weren't even
there.
We were looking for our ugly Christmas
That's
sweaters,
right.
which I didn't end up getting one, but he got his. And he was just like, his eyes about bugged out of his head.
I got really, really hot. And I felt like I had a hot flash, and I didn't know if that was because I was in the women's department or what happened. But I got a hot flash all of a sudden, and I'm like, it hit me. I heard the guy's thoughts behind me, walking with a cart. It was one of those Target employee carts. I could hear the squeaky wheels. He was moving too fast. I had to get out.
You were feeling colors, like it was.
I could hear all of the colors.
It was weird.
And there's a lot of colors in Target. It blew my mind, and that's so crazy because I know everybody drinks coffee, but I just didn't.
Yeah.
And it
was pretty funny.
Here's to my productivity the rest of the year. Like, it should be through the roof now.
And that's no joke. It really has improved your productivity and the effect that you wake up in the morning and you're excited to have a cup of coffee or an espresso. So like, you've just been like, not all days, but you've been like hopping up out of bed and getting that coffee and getting things done. And I can tell the second it like hits you, like when you start to feel it, because all of a sudden you go from just like to like.
Mm-hmm. Well, and the other day too, I had made a coffee, and it was like 2 or 3 o'clock, and I forgot about it. And then at 5 o'clock, I'm like, oh, I should finish my coffee. And so it was cold, but I took the whole thing. And then at 5:07, I'm like looking at her like, hey, guess what? I took a coffee, like.
It was just like,
it was a mistake.
Oh no, this is a mistake. We've made mistakes.
Anyway, so this is my, I guess, admission that it's amazing. And I'm sorry to all those people that I doubted.
I am now married to a coffee drinker.
Yeah.
And it's kind of fantastic.
Yeah, so you guys let us know if you like this new setup. We have some tweaking to do probably.
I don't really know. I mean, like the backgrounds, I'm looking over at our monitor over here, but like our backgrounds are just kind of like, you know, you got like a big printer back behind him, and it is what it is.
Mm-hmm. But we wanted to give a quick COVID update of the market and everything.
Yeah, I think we just, a lot of people out there are kind of concerned with what's going on, and this is changing on the daily, basically. So this is just as of right now. Today is what, the 11th?
December 11th.
You'll see this in a couple of days once we get it edited and stuff, but we're assuming that it should still be the same. But basically, right now, masks are still required. We are still allowed to do showings. We are not allowed to do open houses. Anything that can be done virtually, we're doing virtually. Through Zoom, we are holding buyer consultations, seller consultations, things like that.
Yep.
Obviously, for sellers, we still have to see their house.
Mm-hmm.
We still have to take measurements and things like that. So we still are allowed to do those things. It's just anything that can be done virtually should be done virtually.
Yeah, and for homes that are still lived in, between each showing, we recommend sellers. It's a huge pain. But for your protection, to decontaminate or to whatever, wipe down all this common touched surfaces,
Yes.
leave lights on so nobody's flipping switches.
Doors open, any doors that you can
Closet
leave open,
doors.
closet doors, any internal doors at all, try to leave them open if you can, just to minimize contact points.
Mm-hmm. And everyone is walking through with masks and gloves and shoe covers or no shoes.
For our clients. So
For our clients.
the gloves and the shoe covers and no shoes, those are just recommended. I hope any realtors out there listening are recommending those things. I know that we have masks, gloves, and shoe covers available for us and our clients at all times.
Right.
Yeah.
Having said that, it seems like these are all these obstacles in the way of of buying a house. But honestly, I mean, so it's still
It's still a good time to buy.
It's still a good time. I mean,
And sell.
Yeah, I mean, it's still active. We're still busy, and so people are out there looking and getting houses. We just put 2 under contract yesterday.
Yep.
I mean, it's just things are still happening, and we're very malleable people.
Yes.
As humans, we can adjust. We can.
Oh, that's what we do as humans. We adapt to our environment and
Yeah.
our situation, and that's
Right.
exactly what we're doing.
Yes. I couldn't think of the word adapt, so I came up with malleable. I felt good about that audible that I pulled. Anyways, so
That coffee is starting to kick in a little bit, I think.
yeah. So we just kind of wanted to get on today and say hello to you guys.
Yeah, we got a lot of new subscribers, followers, and we're excited about
sort
that.
of revamping a little bit of social media and everything.
Yeah.
So
A little bit market rebrand here.
yeah,
A little bit.
a little bit of refresh for 2021 because
Yes.
man, this year stunk.
I mean, okay. So let's talk about 2020 for just like a second. It was extremely difficult. This was probably one of the hardest years that 90% of the population has ever had. But I do think some good has come out of 2020. And
For
I
sure.
don't want people to lose sight of that. Think about what really you are thankful about. I know Thanksgiving has passed, but really try to be grateful for the things that you have. And I think that 2020 has forced people to do that.
Yeah.
It has forced people to live in the moment a little bit more and kind of be appreciative of their friends and their family and their health. And we hope that everybody out there has been staying safe and healthy and happy.
Yeah, and
But-
in 2021 can be a fantastic
I
year.
see the light, guys. It is at the end of the tunnel. I can see it. It's there. We're so close.
Yeah,
December
and so
is almost over.
with all the things that did happen in 2020, there was a lot of sadness, a lot of uncomfortability, a lot of people holding each other accountable for
Yes.
things. A lot of tension going on in our country. Having said that, I do know of some people that still found a way to have a good 2020. And it's okay to admit that. I know there was a lot of people that just had the worst year. And it's okay as long as we acknowledge that and know how they felt.
Yeah,
and,
if
and
we
be
can be
sympathetic.
empathetic. Yes, exactly.
But it's okay if you had a good 2020. Honestly, sales, we had our best year that we've ever had.
That is something that we should talk about maybe in another episode. I feel like it's very important for people to praise their own successes. And we worked hard this year.
We
We
did.
worked very hard. We had a couple of months break, and we hit the ground running. We
During
kicked
that
butt.
couple months, what did we do? We built forts. We watched our son learn to walk.
We did.
Start talking.
Which, yeah.
We built, we made puzzles. Mostly I watched and Danielle completed puzzles.
Our dog ate puzzle pieces. It was a good time. Not Lupin, but the big one, Kane,
Yeah.
ate so many puzzle pieces. It was
Harry
ridiculous.
Potter marathons, and we still worked remotely. So, you got to find a way to make the best of each situation.
Yeah.
So, that's it for us today, guys. We are Brandon and Danielle, the Realty couple.
That's right.
Signing out for today. Make sure you look for future episodes. Hit the like, subscribe, and notifications on YouTube when this pops up on YouTube.
Yep. If you're watching this on Facebook, follow us over on our business page. And if you're listening to this, you can listen to this anywhere podcasts can be listened to. Try to give us a 5-star rating on Apple. That would be fantastic.
Excellent.
Or Spotify.
Absolutely. And this has been the Opening Doors podcast. So thank you very much, and you guys have a great holiday.
Bye, guys.